You're listening to the Stallion Radio Network.
Welcome to Movie Talk. I like to live dangerously.
Did you hear this?
Yes. In the face.
And here are your hosts, Brian Seals, Brett Seals, and Vic Vasquez.
And hello everybody, welcome to the final edition of Movie Talk Radio in 2013. I am one of your hosts, Brett Seals. You can follow me on Twitter at the Podcast King.
I'm Brian Sills, and you can follow me at Movie Talk Brian.
I'm Vic Vasquez. You can follow me on Twitter, of course, at TheTorvic23.
So it's the final edition in 2013.
What a year for movies.
What a year. I just want to thank everybody from the get-go for listening. We actually went through a lot at the beginning of the show here to get the show to you guys. A lot of technical difficulties, but if you do listen to the show, thank you very much.
Yes.
We got a lot of good shows.
Without you, we wouldn't really have a show. So.
Yeah, that's true. Well, final edition, we are going to talk, of course, about 2013 as a whole.
The best and worst.
The best, the worst.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's probably the best way to put it. We're also going to talk about 2014 a little bit, of course, with it being New Year's Eve. We got to look ahead to the future. But
future.
It was a very slow week, actually, in movie news.
Not usually a lot. Very rarely happens around this time.
Yeah, it's the holidays. I mean, people are off doing their thing. It's normally a slow week, but slower than usual, I think. I don't remember it being this bad last year. But nevertheless...
I can't really remember. It was like a year ago.
Yeah.
It was so last year.
Yeah, it literally was.
So 2012. Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was a lot slower this year, but we were able to garner up some news to put a show together, of course. But
we had to dig.
Yeah. Of course, today is New Year's Eve.
Woo!
By the time some of you listen to it, it'll already be 2014. But here, at this very particular moment, December 31st is the date on this day in film history. 1937, Academy Award-winning actor Anthony Hopkins was born in Margam, Wales. It's in the United Kingdom. Hopkins won his Academy Award for his chilling performance in Silence of the Lambs. Happy 76th birthday to one of Hollywood's living legends.
We salute you.
76 years old, still running strong. I was actually just watching one of his movies before the show. Hitchcock. Very good film where he's playing Alfred Hitchcock.
I can't recall one movie that he's in where it's been bad.
He's a legend. I mean, I remember we went to we were near a Hollywood premiere. I can't remember exactly. I think it was War of the Worlds, actually.
We've been to several Hollywood premieres.
Yeah, that's true. But the one in particular, I remember Anthony Hopkins was there. We didn't actually see him, but we heard people saying, "Oh, it's Anthony Hopkins." Crowd went crazy. He's a living legend, and I'm surprised he's only got one Academy Award. But it is his birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Hannibal Lecter.
Happy birthday, Clarice.
Also on this day, 10 years later, 1947, Western stars Roy Rogers and Dale Evans were married on this day. They remained married until Roy Rogers' death in 1998. Dale Evans passed away 3 years later in 2001. It's the 66th anniversary of their marriage. Pretty impressive.
Very nice, very nice.
And finally on this day, in 1955, Warner Brothers cartoon One Froggy Evening was released on this date. The tune starred the character Michigan J. Frog, voiced by Bill Roberts, and yes, it is the "Hello, my baby." Hello,
yeah, I've seen the cartoon.
Yeah, pretty impressive. That was the debut of that frog. Haven't seen much of that frog since.
He was in Spaceballs.
He was in Spaceballs.
Yes, he was.
Very demonic looking though.
Yes. That's hilarious.
I think he kind of faded after Kermit the Frog showed up.
Probably. I never thought of that.
Really not easy being green.
But that is what happened on this day in film history.
Well, also on this day, we have one DVD that came out. Not a whole lot because New Year's Eve and whatnot, but it's a good one. Don John. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Julianne Moore.
Directorial debut.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good movie. I mean, it got a lot of hype. I mean, I wasn't, blown away by it, but I was very intrigued by his directing style, and I definitely think obviously he's directing The Sandman now, so
Yeah, so obviously somebody liked it out there,
course.
but that is our DVD release for the week.
Definitely a pickup for sure.
The box office results are in, and yeah, we all failed.
I got the first one right, but I think we all did. But I think we all did. So.
We all failed. It's Frozen, I swear to God. Frozen keeps messing with us.
Frozen.
It's up,
Frozen.
it's down, it's all around.
I think for even, critics or people who predict the box office on a regular basis, I mean, we're not experts by any stretch.
We're taking a shot in the dark here when we guess, but
there are some people who do that for a living. I'm sure they probably had a hard time too, because it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's not easy. Well, at number 10 was Tyler Perry's A Medea Christmas, which made 7.4. At number 9 was Keanu Reeves' 47 Ronin, which made 9.8. At number 8 was The Hunger Games Catching Fire, which made 10.2. At number 7 was The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which made 13 even. At number 6 was Saving Mr. Banks, which made 14. At number 5 was The Wolf of Wall Street, which made 18.5. At number 4 was American Hustle, which made 19.5. At number 3 was Anchorman 2, which made 20.1. At number 2 was Frozen, which made 28.8. And at number 1 was The Hobbit, which made 29.8.
Frozen just jumped up from number 3 to number 2. And it's done that a couple times now since it's been released. It keeps just, going down, it's going up.
It's up, it's down.
It was a perfect... I guess we should have thought about it more. But, I guess we just didn't really anticipate it jumping as much as it did.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a holiday film. It was, Christmas weekend. It made some sense.
Took the kiddies in.
Took us by surprise, for sure.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Yeah, well, we saw some films.
We saw a lot of movies this week. It was a slow week for film news, but we actually caught up on a lot of movies.
Yeah, we saw 3.
Yes.
Vic saw a Goose Egg.
Yes.
The Big Zero.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, too.
Well, we might as well talk about the first movie that you and I saw. It was Saving Mr. Banks.
Yeah, saw it on Christmas Day. Theater was packed, let me tell you. Yeah. Little prologue to the beginning of the movie. Funny thing, at the snack bar, I actually missed it. Our sister's getting a drink from the snack bar. Apparently the lid wasn't on all the way. She grabs it by the top, spills it everywhere. Huge line for the snack bar. I missed it, actually. I'm very upset about that. I heard about it.
Yeah, it was a funny sight, because
Wow.
I finished paying, I turned around, and, she's just looking down, I'm like,
She just had
what?
an empty cup.
She didn't have the cup in her hand.
She didn't?
When it was on the ground
God.
still, at the point, when I turned around, she was just looking down, I was like, what? And then I looked down, I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh my God.
It was embarrassing.
Were you embarrassed for her?
Yeah.
Man.
I actually thought, because she left to go clean,
Yeah,
herself
I heard
up, and,
that.
I kept wondering, where did her cup go? Are they, refilling it for her? Or, was that just it for her? They're not going to give her one
dropped
because
it,
she
you
spilled
done.
it. At first I was like, oh, so I guess she's going to, miss out. I guess she's not getting a drink now.
Yeah, that was...
Did they replace it?
Yeah, they did,
did.
eventually, but...
Eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
After some
a couple
yelling.
hours later.
No, I don't,
It was...
Obscenities where popcorn was thrown.
It was immediate.
the person that ended up cleaning it kind of was giving her a little dirty look, you freaking had to do this.
Yeah.
But the movie,
The movie.
Saving Mr. Banks, Walt Disney, Tom Hanks was a phenomenal Walt Disney.
I was really skeptical about it because, I guess it's because no one's ever played Walt Disney before, so I didn't know what to expect. There wasn't anything to go off of. But he was exactly what I imagined Walt Disney to be. He was the perfect person to play him first. I'm sure he's not going to be the last person to play him, but he definitely... He nailed it for sure.
Yeah, the story is basically about P.L. Traveler's Mary Poppins and how it
Came to be. Yeah.
And honestly, after seeing that movie, I'm never looking at Mary Poppins the same way again because it opens a whole new door.
The only problem I had with this movie was Colin Farrell.
Yeah, there was a lot of
There was a lot of undertones that
Yes.
we won't go into.
don't want to go into it because it's kind of disturbing when
a
you look.
Disney film.
Yeah, when you look at it.
We will tell you, Vic, off air, because I know you look
Okay.
a little... You
I was
look
like, what
a
do you
little
mean,
interested.
Colin-
Yeah,
Colin
we'll tell
Farrell
you.
Being crazy.
I will.
Watch the movie, and I think you'll catch the undertones. But I just didn't like his acting. I understood the character he was trying to portray, but just the way he did it, I mean, I just didn't really care for it. And I don't really care for Colin Farrell as an actor in general.
Well, he hasn't really had a movie where it was a breakthrough performance.
I
he hasn't,
I don't consider him an A actor.
Well, he's not, because he hasn't had that breakthrough performance.
Some people do, which is surprising to me. But other than that, I thought the movie was very well done.
I will say this. I mean, this definitely, if it Hollywood execs have not thought about this, I mean, to me, this kind of opens the door for a Walt Disney biopic. Come on, guys.
Man, it's still going to be hard.
Come on.
You got to get the rights first. I mean, that whole movie was about getting rights, pretty much. He had to get the rights to her book, and we saw how hard that was. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to acquire the rights to Walt Disney's life story. So,
I don't know.
Hopefully sometime in the future, but right now it does not look likely. But very good movie.
Yes.
The other movie we saw, let's talk about The Wolf of Wall Street. Let's talk about that one.
Martin Scorsese's picture.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese is pretty well known for making straight dramas, but this had a pretty comedic tone to it a little bit. I mean, I found myself laughing a lot in this movie. And Leonardo DiCaprio, he's not going to win an Oscar again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he will be snubbed.
I think he will win the Golden Globe. I predicted him to do it. I think he will because he was brilliant in this movie. And so was Jonah Hill.
It's not easy playing...
Jonah Teeth.
Jonah Teeth. It's not easy playing a character who's drugged.
He did a pretty good job.
He was very convincing.
But boy, the character he's playing, Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
What a pompous ass, man. He's just... I mean, every time I see a movie about a biopic or something on a true story, I have to just research the movie after I'm done. And I read about this guy, and he was just... Wow. And he kind of actually looks like Leonardo DiCaprio a little bit, but... Wow, he played some character. What the cast, though?
It was an awesome cast.
Matthew McConaughey was barely in it, so I mean... It was kind of like the Forrest Whitaker thing with Out of the Furnace. Where, I mean...
He just kind of showed up a little bit.
Yeah,
he showed up and then left.
That was it.
I didn't know Rob Reiner was in the movie until I saw it. That was kind of
John
surprising.
Benthel.
Yeah, I heard about that, but I was surprised still when I saw him. John Favreau, Brett Favre.
John Favreau.
Yeah, that's the one. Who am I missing?
I don't know.
What's her name? Margot Robbie. That's the girl that plays... Is it Margot or Margot? I don't know. Is the T silent?
I don't know. You talking about his first wife or his...
Second wife.
Yeah, she was hot.
Second wife.
Whew.
Wow.
Whew.
Very good movie. Like I said, it was a lot more comedic than I expected. Not going to win Oscar. I mean, it's not going to win Best Picture. Leo's not going to win Best Actor. I think... Do you think Jonah Hill deserves to be nominated for an Academy Award? Because he wasn't nominated for the Golden Globe. I thought he did pretty good.
I thought he did good, but, I mean, compared to, like, his performance that he did in Moneyball...
I think this one's better, to be honest with you.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Like, I mean...
Moneyball, he was more subtle.
He was more subtle. Like, this one was a little bit more comedy. Like, I think if he had more of a dramatic role, because, I mean, he kind of was, like, the slapstick type person in this movie. I mean, if it wasn't like that case and he was more of, like, a dramatic in the movie, then, yeah, I could see it.
I think it was the teeth. Just the way he talked. I don't know. It was different than anything I've ever seen him play.
We didn't do this, but kind of want to see it again and now count.
Oh, yeah.
There is a lot of F-bombs.
It's a record. It set a record.
Yeah, it set a record. I can't remember what you said. It was like
503.
Yeah, 503 F-bombs.
Set a record for the most in a movie.
What is that, like one every .005 seconds?
Pretty much every other word is the F.
The F-bomb.
Which I thought was surprising. I'm like, okay, you might see that in like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Or...
Like, I wanted to count it.
Not a Scorsese movie.
It's like, I wanted to count it, but it's like, it would have taken me away from the story, because I wanted to actually watch the story, but now that I've seen the movie, I actually kind of want to go back and count.
I think you're going to need one of those, like, people counters that people at, like,
Walmart
or, like, Bass Pro has,
okay,
and just, boop, boop, there it is.
But it was a good movie. I definitely recommend it.
Yes.
For sure. The other movie that we both saw...
David O. Russell's American Hustle.
See what he did there?
He rhymed it?
We actually saw it separately.
On the same day.
On the same day. Yeah. Get that. I stayed home and watched it from the comfort of my bed.
I had to see it on the big screen.
I won't tell you how I did it, but I'm sure you can make a couple guesses. But, man, you know, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well written, well directed, extremely well acted by everybody in the film.
It was an awesome cast, awesome story. It was well put together.
But I'm going to go ahead and say this now. It will not win Best Picture.
No.
Will not.
No.
And, I mean, it kind of let me down a little bit because I guess I hyped it up in my mind that it... I mean, it could win. It's going to be nominated.
I can guarantee you it will be nominated, but it will not win.
Which, I mean, I guess that let me down a little bit after I saw it. I mean, I thought it was still a good movie, but I'm like, this isn't Oscar-winning material. But, I mean, it didn't take away from the movie that much, but... It was still really good, and I would recommend it to anybody. It's got like a 94% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty freaking high.
It's very ripe.
Yeah, it was great. You should definitely check it out. I mean, I never doubt David O. Russell, the fighter, Silver Linings Playbook, and now this. He comes out with them like nobody.
Amy Adams and Jennifer Lawrence. Come on.
And like I said, I forgot that Robert De Niro was in this movie. I remember talking about it like a year ago. That I thought it was ironic that Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, Robert De Niro, and David O. Russell were all teaming up. Even Shea Whigham. Everybody that was in Silver Linings Playbook is in this movie. Except, was it Chris Tucker? You said?
Yeah. Sorry, Chris. Maybe next time.
Louis C.K.'s in the movie. Like, what the hell? That was surprising. Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And he did pretty good. He did really good.
Oh.
But yeah, it was good for sure. Christian Bale.
I do have one complaint about that movie.
Oh.
I want to know how the end of that. I want to know the end of the fish story.
Oh my god.
The ice story. I want to know what the ending was.
I do too. I was pretty certain that they were going to...
Like, I was hoping Bradley Cooper's character would have been able to, like, hear the rest of the story, but no. You left us all hanging.
I thought they were going to tie that into the story somehow, that the ending of the story was going to, like, have some effect on Bradley Cooper in the story. I thought. It didn't happen. You'll have to see the movie, Vic. I'm sure you
Actually, I almost saw that today, but I decided to sleep in.
That's the right choice.
Yes.
That's probably... Other than seeing a movie, that's the next best choice.
Sleeping. How was Christian Bale in the movie? Because we just saw Out of the Furnace last week, so compared to that...
Well, I mean, Christian Bale never disappoints me. It was great, but...
He had a nice comb over.
You know, actually, I mean...
Nice little belly.
Yeah.
As a movie, I actually liked Out of the Furnace better, to be honest with you. Better than American Hustle, but I think his performance was better in American Hustle. But I still think Out of the Furnace was better, to be honest with you. As crazy as it sounds, I never thought I would hear myself saying that. I thought it'd be the other way around, but Out of the Furnace really surprised me. But that is what we all saw, y'all. See what I did there?
Yes, you did. You did it. Well, it's now time to name that movie. I give a plot to both Brett and Vic, and they have the entire show.
Yeah, this time I'll wait.
Yeah, wait this time.
Yeah, this time I'll wait. I'm sorry.
Well, whoever gets it tonight, hopefully one of you guys get it tonight, because it is our last show of 2013, so whoever does get it
wins
2013.
Sweet. Is that true? Because, wait, I thought I had two, he had one, so it'd be tied if he got it, right?
No, well, last I heard, like, from last week or whatever, he tied it.
Did you? I thought you only got one right. Oh, no, you
I've
got
gotten two right.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's tied
yeah,
as
we're
far.
tied. Yeah, this is the rubber match here.
All right, hopefully you guys can get it.
Got Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary right here.
All right, a vengeful New York transit cop decides to steal a trainload of subway fares. His foster brother, a fellow cop, tries to protect him.
Do you know this one?
I believe so, but I'll hold off till the end of the show.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this one's kind of a hard one, but...
All right. I'll think about it for a while. I'll think about it, but let's get into the news. That's all I think about when we're talking about the news. I'm just trying to figure out the movie, and I get distracted. It's a terrible segment. I'm just kidding. I love it. Only when I win. All right.
I don't think you're going to get this one.
Probably not. It seems like Vic's already got it, so... we are going to get into the news. All right, Frozen really took us by surprise this past week. I mean, it jumped up from number 3 to number 2 and made, what, 28.6? 8? 28.8? I can't read that far.
28.8.
Wow.
It's been surprising us.
Yeah, for sure. I did not expect that. I don't think anybody else did. But we knew of the success when it came out, and obviously what it's been doing in weeks prior to its release, but the Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Disney's Frozen has crossed the $500 million mark. Round of applause, everybody.
Woo, woo.
It makes it the fourth Disney film to have hit this milestone this year. Fourth. I can't do my math, but I think that's $2 billion. Correct?
I'm going to say you're right.
Sure, why not?
It's the other films that have done that. Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, and Monsters University. Also pretty close to getting 500 mil was Oz the Great and Powerful, which brought in $493 million. Pretty impressive year for Disney, to say the least.
They just keep making more and more money, and it's not even the end of the 2013 year.
Well, pretty much.
I mean,
Almost.
It's a couple hours. Pretty much.
Yeah, they're going to come out with a movie the next 15 minutes, and it's going to make another $500 million.
I would not be surprised.
I'd go watch it.
Anything's possible. They can make a couple, like with the movies that are out right now, they can make a little bit more.
That's true. Frozen's going to make more, but does that add to 2013, or does it carry over to 2014?
I think it
Carry over?
No, I don't think it does.
It would add to 2013?
Yeah.
If it was released in 2013?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that works, to be honest with you. But it makes it... This is pretty impressive. Disney is the first studio to make $4 billion at the box office in 1 year. That's what they did this year in 2013. $4 billion in a year. That is unbelievable. No one's ever done that. $4 billion? That's unheard of.
Wish I could get that.
And just think, I mean, Disney could easily top that next year. They got 11 films slated to come out next year. You got Captain America. You've got a whole slate of Disney animation movies. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure that they're going to top this year, next year.
Well, yeah,
And
I mean,
even more in 2015 when the Avengers 2 comes out.
Marvel. It's all Marvel.
But continuing on with Frozen, Disney's actually suing over this movie that's apparently... They copied their logo. Frozen's logo, apparently. The Hollywood Reporter reports that the official complaint points out that Frozen Land, which opened less than 3 weeks ahead of Disney's Frozen, but notably at the time it was called The Legend of Cirilla. With that name, this Phase 4 feature barely made a blip at the box office. Cartoon Brew came out with a photo that showed the previous poster and then the new one, which boasts a new logo strikingly similar to that of Disney's newest Princess Venture. So this movie, before Frozen came out, was called The Legend of Cirilla. And then when Frozen came out after its success, they changed the name of the movie to Frozen Land. And I've actually seen the logo. I'll have to post it on our Twitter and Facebook page. But it's pretty much spot on. They straight up stole the logo of Frozen. And obviously, I mean, who wouldn't sue? Wouldn't you guys sue after all the success that they're seeing out of Frozen?
You don't
Why
want
wouldn't
to.
you?
You don't want to mess with Disney.
Disney's lawsuit statement said, as is apparent from the face of the Frozen Land logo, despite the infinite options available to it, Phase 4 intended its logo to replicate the Frozen trademark logo of Disney's Frozen. For example, the Frozen Land logo also includes jagged, uneven edges on the lettering, dramatic flourishes on the letters, and an elongated R and Z that cradle a stylized O that curves into itself and does not close entirely. In addition, the word Frozen is significantly larger than the word Land. The two logos are nearly identical. I mean, they went into straight detail about every letter. They're like, the O had a... They just went in... I mean, but if you look at the picture, they completely copied every single letter, and it looks exactly like Frozen, which is kind of pathetic.
You don't want to do that, because Disney's on top of the world right now, and they will crush you.
I mean, okay, so Disney, they're suing over what they... And pretty much anybody who sees the photo just a blatant mimicking of their brand. So, should a judge see their point, this means Phase 4 films would be in violation of the Lanham Act, which is meant to prevent people from purposely perplexing the public of a product's origin to sell its goods. Basically, if Disney can prove people might see Frozen Land because they assume it is or is associated with Frozen,
yeah, in other
Phase
words,
4 would owe Disney for damages, lost profits, and be forced to destroy all DVDs that bear the name Frozen Land.
well, yeah. So in other words, they're using that logo to entice people. Like, oh, it's related to the movie. Let's go.
So pretty much they
trying to make a profit off Disney's back.
They actually ruined themselves.
Yeah.
So
Nicely done.
the funny thing is, I looked at who was in this movie. There's only one notable name, is Christopher Plummer.
Yeah.
Voices somebody in this movie. Gonna be making no money now. Sorry, Christopher Plummer, but that's just, I mean, come on.
They could at least maybe, because you were saying they went into detail about every letter and stuff.
Yeah.
They could have switched it around a little bit, maybe, or not even tried. First of all,
They did.
But-
There was one letter that looked completely different. It was the letter E, but everything else, straight up, just copied them. And they're gonna lose that one. No one loses to Disney for sure. But yeah,
they got good lawyers with all that billions of dollars.
yeah, they do for sure.
Man. So you know who's gonna have a bad start to the year, the brand new year? We always talk about them all the time.
I'm gonna guess Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
They just keep on getting worse and worse and worse. According to a post on Reddit, more than 80 movies and a handful of TV shows will be leaving the streaming.
I saw a couple, like, what was it, Titanic?
Titanic, Top Gun, some seasons of Saturday Night Live. Brian's favorite, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, is going to be leaving.
Aww.
Some other ones that are leaving too are Being John Malkovich, Braveheart.
No!
So pretty much they're getting rid of all the good movies.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which was a Vic's pick.
Oh my god.
I think I might have to cancel.
Also, some other TV shows are Dark Shadows, Mr. Bean, and The Kids in the Hall, which I'd never really watched. But
Mr. Bean, that's...
Yeah, Mr. Bean I've seen.
A number of new titles will also be available for streaming, including Jack Reacher, The Talented Mr. Ripley, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, which I think is the one with Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of different, Hansel and Gretel ones on
Yeah.
Netflix already. And also, seasons 5 through 8 of Dexter are going to get added on.
What about Breaking Bad? Come on now.
Breaking Bad. Hopefully that stays on there because I still have to watch it. But
Well, yeah, I need to watch the last part of Breaking Bad, not to mention like the new season of Sons of Anarchy that they just finished.
Oh,
I'm
Sons of Anarchy.
I'm
Wearing my shirt.
I'm sure Breaking Bad's gonna actually stay. I'm sure people would riot if it got taken off.
Yeah.
If Netflix got rid of them, I'd be getting rid of Netflix.
Well, if they're putting the last final seasons of Dexter on there, they're gonna wait to put the final season of Breaking Bad. Yeah.
A spokesperson for Netflix told CNN that the company routinely adds and deletes titles from its streaming service due to licensing contracts. Here's something that really, I don't even know. It just blew my mind. So the subscribers for DVD, 7 million is what they have.
Mm-hmm.
For streaming, guess how many they have?
Less than that, I'm taking it?
No,
They have more.
a lot more. They have 40 million streaming subscribers.
Wow.
Compared to 7 million. So this is just like domestically. This isn't,
Mhm.
globally. But 40 million people stream and only 7 million people will rent DVDs.
That's just the way it's evolved now. I mean, like renting DVDs, all blockbusters are gone. Hollywood videos, everything's streaming now. That's just the way it is.
So you would think they would put a little bit more
That's
effort.
just the way it is.
Because you would think they put more effort into where the more people
Yeah.
are, but
I'm sure there's more to it than we understand. Like they have all these,
the licensing
the
agreements
license
and stuff.
agreements. Yeah. So, I mean, you knew at some point. I mean, they can't keep having the same movies on there, year in and year out. They're gonna take things down. It's just what they replace it with.
They do that all the time, though. There's always stuff that's leaving at
Mhm.
and then the end of a month or something, but they never seem to replace it with anything good.
Yeah. I guess you just can't please everybody, but
That's the reason why I got Netflix, was to not leave my house
yeah.
and just have every movie that I want. Pay for it and then just do it. But
They need to have something like Netflix where it literally has every movie that was just ever made or something. I know that would pretty much be impossible to ever have, but just a bigger library of movies because, yeah, it's pretty limited to what you can choose from. We're just greedy, I guess. I don't know. Because that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of movies, but, I mean, yeah.
They're going to have to do it eventually because then that's the future.
Yeah.
it seems like everything that I do want to watch is never on there, and then when I don't want to watch it, it's on there.
Yeah.
Honestly, lately, every time I go on there, it literally takes me 30 minutes or more just to find something to watch.
And then you're just like, oh, I don't want to anymore.
Yeah, I get to the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to watch a DVD or play a video game or
Yeah,
something.
finding something is an activity on its own.
It's like a scavenger hunt of Where's
Yeah.
Waldo for your movie that you want to watch.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But hopefully something that doesn't go away from Netflix is The Walking Dead, because I have a little bit of Walking Dead news here. I'm sure we have some fans out there. I know we're all fans here. We have a poster that scared me the first time I saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got that for Christmas from
I thought
a
that was
friend.
like a new window that you got, and there's a zombie there. So.
Oh, what are you talking about? She's pretty. She's very pretty.
Yeah.
Well,
Call her Rosalie.
Rosalie?
Yeah, Rosalie.
Rosalie or Rosalind?
Rosalie.
Rosalie.
Don't get it wrong, or she'll come after you.
That's the last thing I need.
She's got her girlfriends behind her too.
Is that her posse?
Yeah.
Well, David Morrissey, who plays the governor on The Walking Dead, we all know what happened to him at the mid-season finale, if you will. But apparently he may be coming back, because David Morrissey, who plays the governor, sat down for an interview with PA, and he said, quote, "I feel like a shady politician where I can't confirm and I can't deny anything. Certainly bad things befell him at the end of the last episode, but we just have to wait and see." So, he's saying he's coming back, but at the same time he's saying he's not coming back. Is he going to come back as a zombie, maybe just like a little extra on the side? Could he be a vision in Rick's dreams or something?
Well, I mean,
would you want to see him come? Would you want to see the governor come back in some way, shape, or form?
You would answer no, naturally, but I mean, if he doesn't know, that there's obviously something happening there. If he can't really confirm if it's happening or not, the only thing I could see that would make sense is if it was like flashbacks or more to where he had his little side story going on there. If it continued on to like stuff we didn't see, it would have to be flashbacks. I think. I don't think he would just come back to be like a zombie. And I don't even know. I mean, we don't know exactly if he actually turns exactly because he got stabbed and then shot. So I'm not sure.
Me personally, I feel like it would be a mistake to have him come back, because I mean the way they ended that mid-season finale was perfect, and the fact if they did bring it back, it would kind of ruin the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how they would do it.
Well, maybe Rick gets on the phone again and starts talking to people. Just happens to be the governor this time.
Very well could be. Who knows?
He gets on FaceTime and it's the governor.
FaceTime. We'll Skype you.
Or maybe they kind of show a little bit of the governor before the apocalypse or whatever. I don't know.
So I guess, like you said, we'll just have to wait and see if he comes back. So
apparently, I mean, according to the comic books, there's a villain coming that's worse than the governor.
A lot worse.
I'm not sure exactly how close they're going to follow the comics. From what I've heard, they've done it pretty well so far. But yeah, apparently there's a worse villain coming. So
it's gonna be Mr. T.
Mr. T.
I pity the fool.
I pity the zombie.
Well, we're gonna talk about one of our favorite screenwriters, directors, and actor, filmmaker, Kevin Smith. It's been a while since we talked about him. Now doing podcasts like we are.
He's actually always been doing podcasts.
Well, yeah,
he's
he's
just now being recognized, I guess.
Yeah, for probably the past couple, I think 2-3 years. He's got a TV show now where Comic Book Men, where they do like a podcast show. Or
he has a really good time slot too. It's like around The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
it's right after The Walking Dead, so it's like perfect for him. Well, we're talking about Kevin Smith because he's now got an actual production slot for Clerks 3, which is going to be in May. There were talks about him retiring after it, but don't look like he's going to do that now.
No.
He's actually got another project.
He's got a couple
coming.
projects.
And it's actually called Helena Handbag.
Helena Handbag. This is in addition to 2 other projects he had. He still had that
Tusk?
Tusk, and then Hit Somebody. So he had 2 others, and now this is 3.
Yeah,
He's not done.
No, he's not. The idea for Helena Handbag is, once again, takes an episode of a Smodcast and turns it into a movie. This time, the plot of the movie concerns mankind teaming up with hell to save its existence from extinction at the hands of a rapturing giant Jesus, which means the budget will be low because nobody's gonna pay for that. Or
is that a question, or was that a
that's his actual quote. No one's gonna actually want to make that movie at all, so it's gonna be a low budget, kind of just like all those other Kevin Smith movies.
It sounds like he's trying to do almost like a follow-up to Red State, which kind of had to do with, it had like a religious tone to it a little bit, and nobody wanted to make it. He tried making it for the longest time.
Well, I remember he had a lot of issues with Dogma.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not surprised. Like
independent movies.
he gets
it's hard
he
to
gets
get-
criticized
to get
a lot. Most of in most of his films, he gets criticized.
He got criticized pretty bad for Red State, especially. I mean, it was totally different than anything he's ever done. But yeah, this sounds like a movie that's gonna have some problems, maybe getting funded. Because I remember hearing him talk about when Red State, he had a hard time having that get made. So this sounds, like I said, it sounds like a follow up to Red State almost. But
I don't know. It definitely should be interesting to see Helena Handbag when that comes out, as well as Clerks 3 and Tusk.
if he is so quick to change his mind about retiring, I'm hoping that some of these other people who have talked about retirement do the same. Like we've heard Martin Scorsese. I mean, he's getting old. He's older than all of them, but I hope he sticks around for quite some time more. Quentin Tarantino's talked about retiring when he's 60. That's in 10 years, but I want him to go even further than that. I think it's kind of hard to retire from something like that, especially when you're that good. And Kevin Smith, he's had a pretty successful filmmaking career.
He's doing it all now. He's making movies, podcasts, writing books,
Yeah.
doing stand-up, tour, Q&A sessions.
Yeah. it's
Getting to
crazy.
check out the Batman suit before anybody else.
Yeah.
Having debacles with Southwest Airlines.
Having conflicts with Bruce Willis,
Yeah,
and
that's
Tim Burton.
Everyone has conflicts with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
But it is now time for this week's edition of
Vic's Pick.
It is time for that wonderful time of the podcast. One of my favorites, of course, because it is my segment, Vic's Pick. I posted a sneak peek on my Facebook, or not my Facebook, but our Facebook, I should say, Facebook and Twitter. A friend of mine, Nathan Smith, got it right. He guessed it over on Facebook. He was right when he said it was Dredd, the movie Dredd. He spelled it wrong. He spelled it with one D instead of like the two.
Oh, I would have done the same.
Yeah, so it is Dredd. It's actually 2012's comic book action sci-fi crime movie Dredd, directed by Pete Travis. He did Vantage Point, which I heard bad things about, but you know, this isn't that movie.
It was alright.
Well, with Matthew Fox, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like Matthew Fox at all.
I don't either.
This is starring Carl
loss.
Urban, Olivia Tyrelby,
Give it your best shot.
Tyrelby.
Harold.
That's super wrong.
It is whatever you think it is.
And Lena Headey, who was also in 300. So, believe that's what it was from. The plot, it's in a violent futuristic city where the police have the authority to act as judge, jury, and executioner. A cop teams with a trainee to take down a murderous gang that deals with the reality-altering drug slow-mo. IMDb has it at a 7 out of 10. Oh, not bad.
That's
It's pretty
not bad.
respectable. Brian does not like this movie whatsoever.
Nope.
But that's the beauty of Vic's Pick, and be your own critic. So, Rotten Tomatoes has it at 78% of critics liked it, 72% of viewers liked it. Production budget was an estimated $50 million. Overall gross was 35.6, 13 domestic, and 22 foreign. So,
Well, here's my take on it, because Brian doesn't like it.
Brian hates it.
No, I mean honestly, I'll say this right now. I will say that it'll be a lot better than the Sylvester Stallone one, but not by much. I mean, like if they didn't have the Sylvester Stallone one, I would probably have been a lot more interested in it.
Hmm.
But the fact that it's a recycled project, that kind of rubs me in the wrong way.
Well, I mean, it's a comic book thing, so...
That might be the only problem I really have with it, is that it's a reboot. Because, I mean, not the fact that it's a Dredd reboot, but just the fact that it's a reboot in general. I hate freaking reboots.
Yeah. That was one of my main problems with it. I mean, like I said, if it was... They didn't have the Sylvester Stallone one, and like they came out with this
It was
one.
fresh.
Yeah, it would have been fresh to me, and I'd be like, okay, this is different, cool. But the fact that it was a reboot, that was my number one problem. And then the second one, like I said, was
upset that Rob Schneider was not in this one.
yeah. Poor Rob Schneider, he just fell on the face of the earth.
I used to not like Carl Urban,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Star Trek kind of
It kind of paved. Yeah,
like Carl Urban. I mean, he was in Lord of the Rings and stuff. So he was
in one
alright
of the
in
Bourne movies.
So I mean, I haven't seen it. I'll give it a shot. I'll give Hellback another shot.
Okay, Jonah Teeth.
Jonah Teeth.
Box office debuted at number 6 with 6.2 million. The number 3 for that weekend of September 21st to the 23rd. Number 3 was Trouble with the Curve, which made 12.1. And was it Hilary Swank or somebody?
Yeah.
Amy Adams.
That's who.
And JT. Justin Timberlake.
JT Salinger. Number 2 was House at the End of the Street, which made 12.2 in its first week.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
I actually almost watched that the other day too, just because it was Jennifer Lawrence. Number 1 though was one of our favorite movies, End of Watch.
Nice.
Yes.
13.1 in its first week.
Good movie.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Pena.
That was just an amazing.
I like how you said that.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of Vic's future picks, I guess, because that movie is just
good,
amazing.
Yeah, it was.
So some fun movie facts. The original script for a Judge Dredd film was written back in the early 80s, but was altered and changed so much it became the first RoboCop movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could see the similarities.
Well, yeah, there is a lot of similarities.
Carl Urban insisted on riding the Lawmaster motorcycle himself. It's pretty much only in the beginning because, they get to that place and whatnot, but apparently that was him doing his own motorcycle work. I don't know why I went like...
Stud. You had to get into it.
Yeah.
Nobody can
I would want to get into it too, so...
Doing that. Some of Mama's tattoos are Lena Headey's actual tattoos, most notably the flower on her upper right arm. The makeup artist took the design and expanded it up to her neck and face.
Interesting.
So just kind of rolled with it.
Got into it, just like you got into your little...
My little...
Yeah, your little motorcycle.
And at 96 minutes, this film has the same running time as the original Judge Dredd.
I wonder if they planned that. Did they do that on purpose? Coincidence?
But this one's really good. I mean, I liked it. I wish I would have seen it in theaters just because all the visuals and stuff look pretty crazy. But if you like Carl Urban, if you just want to see like another comic book movie done right, by my standards,
by Vic's standards,
go ahead and check it out. It is on Netflix. Hopefully
perfect.
So hopefully it'll survive the cut of Netflix.
I'm sure it will because it's fairly new.
Yeah, it's fairly new. Yes.
It has a huge cult following now. I'm part of this Facebook thing where it's like 70,000 people are part of it to make a Dredd sequel thing. So hopefully it does because Carl Urban said that he does want to do a sequel. So we'll have to wait and see. But in the meantime, check it out.
Well, I would say this: I'd rather see a sequel of Dredd than RoboCop.
Which is what? Yeah, that new RoboCop just looks terrible.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that again today when I went to go see American Hustle, and I think I was the only one that was disgusted by it.
Everybody was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool." I don't know what's gonna be worse.
Michael Keaton?
Yeah. Michael Keaton in it, Jay Burchell or whatever his last name is. Baruchel.
I don't know.
I was watching Jackie Brown.
I love that movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, he just showed up out of nowhere. This is the first time I've really seen it, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
Michael Keaton."
Yeah. But hopefully, I don't know what's gonna be better though, RoboCop, the new one, or RoboCop 3. I don't even know if you can. Like, it's just gonna be not as bad, I guess. But check out Dredd. It's on Netflix.
Well, we're gonna take a short little break, and when we come back, some weekly film facts. So don't go away.
Whoa.
And welcome back, everybody. The second half of the final episode of 2013, and we are going to kick things off with some weekly film facts. The final edition of Weekly Film Facts of 2013. Kind of sad, but we will have them next week, of course. Did you just do the wah wah wah?
Yeah.
What the hell, Vic? What the hell? All right, we got some facts. The most used line in movies. Want to take any guesses?
I don't know. I'm just hearing Vic's stomach growling.
That is not it, Vic's stomach. That's not the line.
I should have not had that much pizza tonight.
Dude, you could probably hear that on playback.
Probably. It sounded like that scene from like Spaceballs where like he's got that theme popping out like, oh no, not again. And then the frog is, hello, my honey.
There we go. He plugged it in.
Yes.
Good reference.
Off full circle.
The most used line in movies is, what do you think it is? What do you think it is?
Why, hello.
No.
The F-bomb.
No. It's let's get out of here. Surprising. I thought it'd be like, hey, or hi, or hello, or some variation of hello.
Well, let's get out of here then.
Let's get out of here is the most used line in movies.
That's what my stomach's saying right now. Let's get out of here.
That was the translation, was let's get out of here. All the characters in Toy Story blink one eye at a time. I've never noticed that. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. That's kind of creepy. every character. I guess they didn't.
I'm trying to do that right now.
I guess they didn't have the animation, technology to make it to where both eyes blink. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm gonna have to watch those again.
Freaking tweakers up in Toy Story. That's what that's pointing to. It took Frodo from the Lord of the Rings. He kept the ring hidden for 17 years before his quest, not a few weeks as the movie portrays. So in the book, he got the ring and then he waited 17 years before he went on his quest. But in the movie, it happened in a matter of weeks.
Pretty quickly.
Never knew that.
I didn't either.
Held onto the ring for 17 years and then went on his quest. What the hell was he doing?
Wasn't ready.
He was just contemplating the. No, what he was waiting for was Gandalf. He returns and tells him that it's the one ring or whatever. I love those movies. Since 1962, James Bond has killed over 150 men and slept with 44 women, 3/4 of whom have attempted to kill him.
What a man whore.
That's in just all the Bond movies right there. 150 men that he killed, 44 women that he slept with.
How many anonymous henchmen has he killed?
I don't know.
Look at you. You don't even have a name tag on.
Now, the number I want to know is how many STDs does he have? That's the question worth asking.
I want to know how many cars he's had in every movie.
I don't know. That's a good question also. It looks like it's always... I mean, it's got to be some sort of, it's the same variation of a car, It looks the same for the most part. Hopefully the Batmobile isn't a... what is it? We were talking about a Cadillac, what was it?
Like an old school, what was it, like a 48 Cadillac or something?
Yeah.
So
I don't know about that. Each episode of Game of Thrones costs $6 million to produce.
Good God.
Each episode. I don't know how many episodes are in a season. Assuming like it's 12 or something, that would be $72 million. That's more than some movies make. And that's a season of Game of Thrones, people. Good show, though. I haven't watched it, but I've heard...
Seriously, you had to cancel Deadwood because it cost too much, but yet Games of Thrones?
That is the exact thing I thought of when I read this. And I'm sure Deadwood didn't require that much money to make. Game of Thrones, I mean, it's taking place in a medieval time. I think
I'm baffled by this.
Yeah. A little crazy. $6 million to produce, but that is the weekly film facts for y'all.
Nice. Whoa. Well, we're going to go back to the news and talk about The Wolf of Wall Street because there's actually a nasty letter that was written by Christina McDowell, who actually, her father, Tom Prosalis, worked for Mr. Jordan Belfort and had a nasty letter regarding the movie. Shall I read it?
Yeah, you shall read it.
I guess I shall. This is her letter. I drove a white Range Rover in high school, snorted half of Columbia, and got any guy I ever wanted because my father would take them flying in his King Air. And then I unraveled the truth about my father and his behavior, that behind all of it was really just insidious soul-sucking shame masked by addiction, which we love to call ambition, which is really just greed. Greed and the desire for fame, exactly what you've successfully given self-appointed motivational speaker, financial guru, Jordan Belfort, whose business opportunities will surely multiply thanks to this film. Oh, there's more. She also went by quoting about the post in her stories about this letter, saying that you people are dangerous. Your film is a reckless attempt at continuing to pretend that these sorts of schemes are entertaining. Even as the country is reeling from yet another round of Wall Street scandals, we want to get lost in what? These phony financials, fun sescapades, and coke binges? Come on, we know the truth. This kind of behavior brought America to its knees.
So who wrote this letter?
Her name...
Sounds like a hater to me.
Sounds like a hater.
Her name is Christina McDowell. Her father, Tom Prosalis, worked for Jordan Belfort.
Well, I've heard a lot of things from both sides of the spectrum about this movie. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio's addressed it. And I mean, especially for Jordan Belfort's, point of view, I'm sure he's pretty upset with the way the film went. Because, I mean, it's telling a story about him in a negative light. He's got a drug addiction. He's a cheapskate pretty much. But, I mean, he wrote the book, which the movie is based off of. So, I mean, he kind of set himself up for that. I'm sure he didn't think when he wrote the book that, this is going to be made into a movie. But it did, obviously. But... I mean, the same thing happened with the Fifth Estate, with Julian Assange. He didn't like the fact that he had a movie made about him because it was it showed negativity towards him, and the same thing for Jordan Belfort. But I mean, really, I think the movie. I don't know much about the logistics of the details of the movie, but I think they were pretty accurate.
Well, like, I can kind of understand her point of view. Yeah, it brings up a lot of bad memories, obviously, but I mean,
They happened.
it happens. It's an interesting story. I mean, the movie was amazing. I'm sure the book's just as good, but I mean, it happened. It's like that's just stories. You're gonna see that constantly. So, like, I can understand she's a little upset, but I mean, it's really, you're gonna just have to deal with it.
They kind of brought it upon themselves. I mean, if
In a
Jordan
way.
Belfort is upset with the way it was, he shouldn't have done the things he did because they reflect negatively on him.
Well, that's what the old saying, like, be careful, like, what you wish for and whatnot. Like karma, it is a bitch, and it does come back to bite you in the ass.
But other than that, I feel the movie was pretty accurate. Nick's over there rubbing his tummy.
You need some Tums?
No, I'm good.
He's getting excited talking about Wolf of Wall Street so much. But I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, Jordan Belfort. I mean, he's going to be in his own reality TV show now.
Yeah, which I'm kind of curious to see what that is going to be about, whether or not he's going to be maybe on Donald Trump's, like, reality show or
The
whatever.
Apprentice.
Yeah,
Is that show still going?
yeah,
Is it?
yeah,
Oh,
Is American Idol
God.
still going?
yeah.
Yeah. What are they
Wow.
in season 13? Crazy.
Like, honestly, like, like, when you told me about Jordan Belfort being a reality show, that's the first thing that came to mind. I was like, he may be on The Apprentice.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Vic hasn't seen the movie, but I feel like he lost a lot of money there at the end because of what happened. I mean, he still made a boatload of money, but now
He kind of lost a lot of things.
But he's making a lot more money now. I mean, he wrote 2 books, The Wolf of Wall Street and then Catching the Wolf of Wall Street, and then the movie. He's making more money when he really shouldn't be. I don't know. I don't like this guy. You hand me a pen?
Sell me this pen.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to sell a pen. Sorry. But, I don't know. Jordan Belfort, some pond scum.
Yes, he is.
Moving on from Wolf of Wall Street. Pretty early to talk about Star Wars, right? No?
It's never too early.
Well, we got
It's never
hardly,
enough.
we don't got a lot of stuff for this week, really, so
What's wrong
We're-
with Star Wars?
nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, there's not a lot of news this week, so we're stretching it out.
Comic Book Movie recently posted a video with Industrial Light and Magic Effects Supervisor Dennis Murin. The video revealed that the Rancer from the Return of the Jedi.
Rancor?
The Rancor. That's
Yeah.
the one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
From Return of the Jedi. This big old creature, if you've seen the movie. It was actually going to be a man in a suit. Believe it or not. That would have been surprising. Which, it kind of got the internet debating on whether for episode 7, should they stick with CGI or go back to old school effects? What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
I would probably say, just stick to, the technology now. Don't go back.
Big
Maybe like a mixture of both.
mixture?
Yeah, maybe do like practical stuff and then just throw a little CG on there just to make it look cooler.
Maybe just to pay homage to the
Yeah.
original films, because obviously they didn't have that technology, but I feel that the reason why people are having this debate is one person in particular, and his name is Jar Jar Binks. Because people had a pretty big problem with him. He was a completely CGI character, and he was really annoying. He was annoying.
It wasn't really the CGI.
It wasn't the
He
CGI.
just was an annoying character.
People, I mean, I heard both things. I mean, obviously that his character was annoying, but people had a problem with the fact that he was completely CGI for some reason. But
There's a lot of things in that movie that was CGI.
I mean,
Like everything.
the failure of the character. I mean,
Well, yeah, this was a
to abandon CGI.
They don't have to ban it. It's just this was a character, if he wasn't so annoying, this character was supposed to be in all the newer Star Wars movies, but because he was so annoying and they were getting threats, they had to cut his character.
I feel like this shouldn't even be a debate.
It shouldn't be a debate at all, because honestly,
We live in a world that's it's just technologically dominated. And I'm sure if CGI existed back when they made the original Star Wars, they would have used it. And I mean, the things you could do now with CGI, they made a complete CGI Bengal tiger for Life of Pi, and it looked completely real. And then in The Social Network with the Winklevoss twins, they, doubled Army Hammer and made twins. The things you could do now with CGI, you got to take advantage of that.
That's
Yes.
Sigourney Weaver like cigarette.
Yeah,
Avatar.
exactly. I didn't even know that until you told me about it. So I mean, it's like you got to take advantage of the technology you have available to you now. And could you imagine that Star Wars Episode 7 with like no CGI and just puppeteers and animatronics? It ruins the whole
Don't do it.
I don't know.
Don't
just
do it.
ruins the atmosphere of Star Wars. You just have to have CGI. That's part of it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Special effects, though. I mean, especially episode. What is that now? Episode 3. I was
Yeah.
trying to go back in time.
Revenge of the Sith.
The majority of that was all just like CG.
I know.
Like from the backdrops to the, just everything.
Yeah, it all
CG,
was.
looked
That one was the
amazing to me.
most. Yeah, CGI'd.
Yeah, CG.
CG'd.
CG rocks. But we do have some Batman vs Superman news. It wouldn't be one of our lovely shows without it. For the first time since being casted as Wonder Woman, somebody actually got to interview Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. So she was interviewed on Good Evening with Guy Pines, the top entertainment show in Israel. She is Israeli. I didn't know that until I started looking more into her. No, it's definitely more into her. They asked her things, about like where she was, how she thought about it. But then they asked her some really good questions too. One of those questions was, "It's been said that you're too skinny for the part. Wonder Woman is large-breasted.
Oh
Is
my
that going
God.
to change?" She said, "I represent the Wonder Woman of the New World. Breast anyone can buy for 9,000 shekels." I thought that was like a make-believe thing, but shekels are real. "And everything is fine. By the way, Wonder Woman is Amazonian, and historically accurate Amazonian women actually had only one breast. So if I really go by the book, it'd be problematic," is what she said. So he went on to ask her, "So you're not going to gain a little weight and start eating carbs before filming begins?" She said, "It's the physical preparations that I'm starting now. A very serious training regimen, kung fu, kickboxing, swords, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, 1,001 things. I'll gain body mass."
Yeah.
So she's ready for it.
They go through some intense training.
Yeah.
Kind of have to.
I'm surprised he said that the big-breasted thing. That's another thing you could do with CGI. You could
padding. Girls wear
yeah.
push-ups all the time.
Or you could just
False hopes.
You could. I mean, if you don't want
False
to
advertisement is what
False
it is.
advertising.
Yeah.
False hopes. They can make
that's
this work.
something you could also easily computer-generated boobs or something.
Put some of those like what are they like fish fillets or something?
Fish fillets.
Fish fillets in there. Hey,
They could
water
do a
balloons.
number of things.
Girls do a lot of things.
Fish
Tissue.
fillets is something.
Tissue. You know?
Tissue. Yeah.
Gonna smell fishy.
That feels like. I feel like that's teenager-ish.
So, but
CGI.
apparently she's gonna be bulking up for the
Yeah.
role. With what it sounds like. So
Dude, that training, my God,
jiu-jitsu,
all this crazy.
all that swords,
What like?
I'd throw up.
Is it necessary?
kung fu.
Kung fu. I mean, they just go through every sort of
So
physical training that you could possibly think of.
she was definitely excited too when she got the news. So
That would
and
suck.
Like,
For
hey,
me,
hey, you're Wonder Woman, but guess what? Now you gotta like work out
Yeah.
22 hours a day.
yeah,
It's like okay.
that would be probably. I mean, if I were an actor and I got, if I got a job as a superhero, I'd be, I'd be stoked. But having to,
Then you're like,
oh my God, I'd be like,
Change the way you eat and
No
whatnot.
way.
Yeah, you gotta change basically a whole.
God,
Like, is there an out of shape superhero? Can I be like the Rhino or somebody?
I know. Can I be somebody? Or can I just be like Vin Diesel and voice a superhero, not be
Yeah.
on screen?
Yeah,
No?
Yeah, he got it easy.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart's another one that has it easy. He just sits in a wheelchair.
Yeah, pretty easy.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody in Guardians of the Galaxy practically got it easy. Bradley Cooper voicing.
The Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the Coon,
The Coon.
and then
That's Cartman's character from
Vin
Southwest.
Diesel
Yes.
voice. So yeah,
Batista.
is he a
everybody.
voice or I don't
No,
know?
he's an actual.
Is he?
Batista?
Yeah.
He's in that lineup
Oh,
in that picture. So for the people that were thinking that she was going to be still too skinny, I guess she's going to be working out. So
wow.
get ready for a new look Gal Gadot.
I'm still not really familiar with her too much. I'm just kind of curious to see.
Definitely will be interesting to
Her-
see. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, continuing on with some Batman vs Superman news. This was more of a rumor right now. I heard other places confirmed it. I heard it's still a rumor. I read where I was reading it was written by a high school student, so I'm not sure how reliable it was, but there's a rumor going around that Denzel Washington is set to star in Batman vs Superman, which
That'll never happen.
I don't know. Could you? Well, Don Cheadle was in which movie? What Marvel
Iron
movie?
Man.
Iron Man was he?
Well, Iron
and he's going to be in the
2,
Avengers. The Avengers 2.
But
correct.
Denzel and Don Cheadle aren't.
Ben Kingsley was in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, but Don
These are-
Cheadle and Denzel aren't really on the same.
Ben Kingsley and Denzel
Well, Ben
Washington.
Kingsley, yes, but
There's all these legendary actors who are trying. I mean, Robert Redford in Captain America. People are actors that you would not expect to get be
That
a
is
part
true.
of superhero movies. They are, and Denzel Washington could be the next one in line. Rumor has it that the Academy Award-winning actor Denzel Washington has been rumored for the role of the Green Lantern in Batman vs Superman. We obviously Wonder Woman's been confirmed. We heard about the Flash,
Nightwing.
and now Green Lantern. But there was another rumor that Denzel Washington can maybe play Lex Luthor. Although Breaking Bad's Bryan Cranston his name's been brought up again.
There's been a lot of names being brought up.
It's really I know, it's just a
Well, because the newest one is The Rock.
The
The
Rock.
Rock had a huge meeting with DC, Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
and he said that he's going to be in a movie that starts filming in 2014, and the only one supposedly right now
Batman
is
vs.
Batman vs.
Superman,
Superman.
yeah.
So
And you even
He
said he
might
was
be
wearing a
Lex Luthor.
Batman shirt.
yeah, he did like this promo picture for his Q&A on Twitter, and it was him wearing a Batman shirt. So
That seems kind of fishy to me.
it could have just been coincidence because he
Maybe.
was flexing.
Yeah.
Like he always does. I mean, but he flexes for anything
He
he
doesn't.
does.
He's not even flexing. He's not
just standing
doing
there.
anything. He's just
Yeah, he's
standing
just
there.
freaking bulk.
Yeah,
So I mean, what if he was Lex Luthor?
he could be. I would. Okay.
I'd be a little bit disappointed, but I'd probably still check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Man of Steel, so I have to see Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
But I would not. Nothing against The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. I'm sorry.
Or Rocky Maivia.
Or Rocky Maivia. I just don't want him to be Lex Luthor. I don't have a problem if he's in Batman vs Superman, just not as Lex Luthor. He's holding his stomach again over there. But, and even Denzel Washington. I mean, throw out the race card. Yes, there's never been a black Lex Luthor. There's never been a black Green Lantern.
I think he's black in the Justice League cartoons.
See, I saw the picture
Yeah.
for that, and I was like, okay, maybe they just made that especially for this story or something. I didn't know, but
It's an A-list actor name
Yeah,
that you wouldn't
an Academy Award
winning actor that you wouldn't imagine in a million years that he would do something like this. So the fact that his name's being mentioned, you're just like, whoa.
But I mean,
It definitely would be an awesome pickup for the film. That's for sure. No doubt about it.
despite the race, throw out the race card for a second. That'd be a pretty damn good Lex Luthor.
I would honestly, I wouldn't have a problem with him playing as Lex Luthor or the Green Lantern. It's just hearing his name being brought up. It's just kind of a shocker to me a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Because I would not imagine it. I mean, this would be like, it would be like Daniel Day-Lewis being thrown into the mix. Like, just an actor that you just would not imagine in a million years.
Well, hey, I mean, it's already Ben Kingsley. That was kind of not expected. Don Cheadle, not expected. Robert Redford, not expected. Like I said, all these A-list Academy Award caliber actors are wanting to be a part of superhero movies, and why not? Because of how much money they're making.
That's where the money's at right now.
Exactly, it's the trend. Might as well. I mean, Denzel Washington. I mean, he did Flight. What was it, last year?
Mhm.
What's he been doing?
Two Guns.
Two Guns. That with Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, that was this year. I mean, this could be big for him if he were to play the Green Lantern or Lex Luthor. You're looking at maybe 2-3 DC movies.
Me personally, out of the two, I would rather see him play Lex Luthor. I think he can
Yeah.
make it. I think he would make an awesome villain.
Unfortunately, I've heard more rumors with his name connected to the Green Lantern rather than Lex Luthor. I mean, you look at the list of Lex Luthor rumors: Bryan Cranston, Terry O'Quinn, Bradley Cooper, Joaquin Phoenix, The Rock, and now Denzel Washington. I mean, it's like that's a wide variety right there.
But in the end, it'll just go back to Kevin Spacey.
But if they do, I swear. But I mean, it would appear that Warner Brothers and DC are, in fact, having discussions with Denzel Washington. If his name is attached to both Green Lantern and Lex Luthor, there's got to be something going on. So that's kind of exciting.
No doubt about it.
That would be a definite big acquisition for Warner
They're going
Brothers.
for Academy Awards with this one.
Yes.
Argo writer, Ben Affleck,
They're
Denzel maybe.
They got a pretty impressive assemble going on.
Also, Batman's suit might actually be gray. I was doing a little bit of like research on the inspiration they got it from.
Wow.
Gray and black.
No, it's like gray with like a bluish kind of color.
Oh, kind of like the
Actually
TV.
not that
It should be interesting to see.
bad. But obviously not Adam West with like the little painted
Yeah,
on
I
eyebrows.
hopefully not. But that is our news.
Yes.
And we're going to give you Trailer of the Week, which has been a long time coming for this film. The trailer's been out for quite some time, but the movie's actually coming out next week, believe it or not.
It's actually out in select cities.
Yeah, select cities right now, but worldwide release next week. And it's Her, which stars Joaquin Phoenix, Amy Adams, and Scarlett Johansson. It's a lonely writer who develops an unlikely relationship with his newly purchased operating system that's designed to meet his every need.
Also, Rooney Mara is in there.
Yeah, Rooney.
Up and coming actress
Yes,
right there.
yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this movie. I mean, I really like Spike Jonze. I was surprised to see him in The Wolf of Wall Street, by the way.
Yes.
Nice little cameo there. But I'll watch anything that Spike Jonze does. He's a genius.
Yeah, this one definitely has caught my eye. You said off air that one of your friends has already seen it.
Yeah.
And says it's depressing. I can already concede that it might be.
Yeah. It's kind of, I mean, I haven't even seen it yet, but I can already kind of tell what the message is. And I told you guys, it's like, he obviously falls in love with his operating system, but he doesn't even know, she's not a real person. She doesn't, he doesn't know what she looks like. That's kind of the message, Appearance doesn't matter. But I thought...
Well, yeah, that is the strongest message out there. Like, people go and date people on looks, which honestly, that's... I mean, that to me, that would be
a first attraction.
Yeah, it's a first attraction, but I mean, to me, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
It's true beauty on the inside.
And I mean, this it's garnered a lot of attention for award season. Golden Globes, it's been nominated for. It's going to be nominated for the Academy Awards as well. But I even told you guys, I'm pretty sure they got this idea from Siri.
Yeah, wouldn't doubt it.
Because I mean, that was the first operating system that you could really talk to a little bit.
But that is our trailer of the week.
It will be on Facebook and our Twitter page, so check it out.
But it's now time to review 2013 and to look ahead
to the future.
To the future of
2014.
The year 2014.
All right, well, for 2013 in review, we are going to talk about the top 5 best films that we saw, the top 5 worst films of 2013, the top 5 best TV shows, the breakout performers, actor and actress of 2013. So let's go ahead and start with the worst.
The worst movies.
The worst films. Who would like to go first here?
I guess I'll go first.
All right.
Well,
number 5, and give some reasoning behind it a little bit.
I will.
If you can.
I will. Not too much, because we do have New Year's Eve to end with a bang.
We'll just say the list and that's it.
I'm going to give a little...
To time constraint.
Just, yeah. Well, at number 5, I have A Good Day to Die Hard. Because they killed the franchise, I think.
I never saw it.
At number 4, I have The Heat.
Wow.
Number 3, I have Justin Bieber's Believe.
Baby.
Number 2, I have 47 Ronin.
Oh my gosh.
And at number 1, you probably shouldn't already know, The Purge.
Yeah.
And well, at number 5, I have The Counselor.
Ooh.
I had to. It just didn't live up to what I wanted it to be. Number 4, Brian had it at number 5 actually. A Good Day to Die Hard. Compared to the one that came right before that one, this one was just god awful. Number 3, G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, it just wasn't the same. It turned into, like, don't get me wrong, I like The Rock and all, but it turned into like a rock movie as opposed to just like keeping it about G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Number 2, I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure everybody else will agree, is the Old Boy remake. It just didn't do too well. And number 1, just because it was M. Night Shyamalan, is After Earth.
Nice.
So those are my
Shamalama Ding Dong.
top 5 worst movies.
All right. Number 5, I got The Lone Ranger.
Nice, nice.
He's shaking his head over there. Didn't see it
I'm like,
at a huge budget, and it tanked in the box office. So that's why
Financially wise, it was a disaster.
That's why I didn't see it. Financially, yes, it tanked. I still want to
my
see it.
stomach hurt more.
I still want.
You made him sick.
I still want to see it. Number 4, The Smurfs 2. Why did they make a sequel to this movie? The first one was just ridiculous. Why?
I honestly totally forgot about that movie because it was so bad.
Exactly. Number 3, After Earth. M. Night Shyamalan.
I was so excited though. It was, it was like Will Smith, and he usually makes pretty good movies. Will Smith does.
I literally have no faith anymore in Shyamalama Ding Dong.
And then the week before it came out, the trailer started saying, "Oh, directed." Like they held off on saying who was directed.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Well, yeah, because as soon as you see his name, you're just like,
oh, exactly. I was like, oh,
He
no.
even knew. He's like, if we have my name in the trailer, it's
Early
going to
on.
drive people away.
Yeah.
We need to hold that off.
If I was him, I would have been smart enough to you know what? For this movie, I'm going to use an alias name.
Yeah.
M Day.
M-Day.
Yeah, M-Day Shyamalama.
And yeah, change the night today. Number 2, I got 47 Ronin. It was the worst opening in 2013 for a movie with a budget over $150.
Poor Keanu.
$150.
Poor Keanu.
$150 million. But for the way the movie went, might as well have been for $150. And number 1, The Purge. It was terrible. Great plot, terrible execution. Sorry. All right, we are going to talk about the top 5 best TV shows now.
Switch it up
TV
there.
shows, yeah.
All right. Well, at number 5, I had Mob City because I was really impressed with it.
I can't really consider that a TV show.
It's on TV. It was on TNT. It was a series. It was on TV.
All right, I'll give it to you.
At number 4, I had Game of Thrones.
But just a bunch of wieners.
The $6 million
Wiener.
budgeted friggin' show.
At number 3, Sons of Anarchy.
I thought you were gonna do like a chicken dance.
Yeah, I'm just slapping his arms.
No, I'm supporting the Sons since it is from this area.
Yeah.
Down the street.
At number 2, I had Breaking Bad.
Cool.
And at number 1, The Walking Dead.
Ooh.
It was a tough one, but honestly, those two go hand in hand for me.
I thought I'd switch it up a little bit with my number 5 and go with an animated show, American Dad.
American Dad.
I actually love American Dad. I watch that more than I watch Family Guy. I mean, I'll still watch them, but
It's been on the air for a while.
I look forward to American Dad all the time. Roger is just one of my all-time favorites. At number 4, I put Dexter. I haven't caught up with it yet, but I love Dexter in the beginning.
Mhm.
I'm sure I'll still love it now. Number 3, Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I still haven't watched it.
You will
but
love it.
I will. Number 2, I got The Walking Dead at number 2.
Yeah.
And number 1,
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy,
Yeah.
Sam Crow. So, yep. You can't go wrong with Sons of Anarchy, man.
I knew that would be his number 1.
Of course.
I knew. Number 5, I'm going to go with Boardwalk Empire. It had a little down season, but I still have faith in the show. 4, Game of Thrones. I've just been hearing great things about it, and when
Wiener.
and when your episodes are budgeted at $6 million per episode, it's got to be pretty damn good. Number 3, this is a critically acclaimed show that I've yet to watch, but I'm going to as soon as possible. Homeland. It's gotten such great reviews. I got to watch it. Number 2, The Walking Dead. Probably the best show on TV now that Breaking Bad's off the air, and which is my number 1 is Breaking Bad. I mean, it just was. There will be no show like Breaking Bad again. All right, so we've gone through the top 5 worst films, the top 5 best TV shows. Before we get into the top 5 best films, I have my own list here. They had a list for the top 5 most torrented TV shows and films. So I'll go ahead and read this off for you. The top 5 most torrented TV shows. Number 5 was Dexter.
Like, that means downloaded. For
Yeah,
those people.
pirated. Yeah. Number 4 is The Big Bang Theory.
That's always a popular series.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Number 3, The Walking Dead. Number 2 is Breaking Bad, and number 1 is Game of Thrones. Most torrented. Kind of crazy.
It's all about the wiener.
Number 5 most
They keep talking about dragons, and there's no dragons. Just wieners.
top 5 most torrented films of 2013. Number 5 was David O. Russell's Silver Linings Playbook. Number 4 was Iron Man 3. Number 3 was Fast and the Furious 6. Number 2 was Django Unchained. Anybody want to guess what number 1 would be?
I could, but I'd probably get it wrong. So
Maybe. Might as well take a guess.
This was the movie, right? Star Trek Into Darkness.
No.
I would say The Hobbit.
The Hobbit is the most torrented movie of 2013. Very good.
The first one or the second one?
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah, those are the most torrented films and TV shows of 2013. But now it's time to talk about the top 5 best films that we saw this year. But you didn't have to necessarily see them.
Yeah.
You didn't have to necessarily see
Yeah,
them.
I think so.
But
Well, at number 5,
I saw all the ones I have on my list.
I did too. At number 5, I have American Hustle.
Number 5. Really?
Yeah, number 5.
Ooh.
At number 4, I picked The Hunger Games because that was really good.
Yes, it was. I saw it again the other day.
Yes. At number 3, I had Saving Mr. Banks.
It's a good film.
Yes. At number 2, I had The Wolf of Wall Street.
Another good film.
And at number 1, without a shadow of a doubt,
Shout out to the doubt. I like that.
The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
Smash.
My
Wow. Interesting.
Yes.
You got The Hobbit at number 1.
Yes.
That's not a bad list, though. I mean, at number 5, I had the Wolverine.
The
I'm a
Wolverine.
huge, comic book X-Men
Mhm.
kind of guy. Number 4, I had Fast and Furious 6. I've just been a huge fan of them ever since the
Mhm.
beginning. 6, like, they just keep getting better and better. Number 3, I have Gravity. You
Mhm.
can't forget about Gravity.
Can't.
Number 2, Star Trek Into Darkness. That was just, I saw it like twice, 3 times, something like that. And number 1, should come as no surprise, is Out of the Furnace.
Mhm.
Number 1. So
Number 5. It was hard for me to make this list.
I know. I literally had like 10.
Yeah.
I had to like narrow it down to 5.
Yeah, there was a lot more I want to put on here, like The Place Beyond the Pines, just a bunch of movies. But number 5, I have Gravity. Kind of slow paced a little bit. It was still a good story when you think about what she went through, but the special effects is what went over the top. Number 4, The Wolf of Wall Street. Very different film from Martin Scorsese. Kind of funny, but it was very, informative. Number 3, Captain Phillips. Probably the best thriller of the year. And Tom Hanks did an amazing job. Number 2, American Hustle. It was everything I hoped it'd be. Acting was great. Directing was great. Perfect movie. Number 1, the best movie I've seen all year. And it's the same pick for number 1 for Vic was Out of the Furnace. Best film I've seen of the year, by far. It was just, wow. If you have not seen it, I suggest you do, because it was amazing. But those are the best films, in our opinion, top 5 for 2013. But we are going to talk about our breakout performers for 2013, male and female.
Well, for me, female is going to be Amy Adams. Man of Steel,
Mm-hmm.
American Hustle, no doubt about it. Breakout for male would be Matthew McConaughey. The Dallas Buyers Club, Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, and he's got that TV show coming out.
True Detective, yeah.
Yeah, so.
That looks really good. With Woody Harrelson. I want to see that. Good picks.
I'm surprised you didn't have your I thought it was going to be anonymous or unanimous, not anonymous.
I'm really curious about yours.
Breakout actress was definitely Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just all the money she made just off Hunger Games alone, and she's a really good actress too. So
Yeah, she's really
pretty
good.
hot. And breakout actor, I mean, I thought it was going to be unanimous again. It's Benedict Cumberbatch, but
You picked the exact same thing Brett did.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be different a little bit, that's why.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time though, these were the people that just like.
It's alright if we agree.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Out
good
of
picks
Furnace.
too, but I wanted to have something a little bit different.
Yeah, well, I put a little reasoning for my Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, he filmed season 3 of Sherlock with Martin Freeman, who plays Bilbo Baggins. All right, he starred in J.J. Abrams' sci-fi blockbuster Star Trek Into Darkness, playing the famous Star Trek villain Khan. All right, starred as the controversial figure Julian Assange in The Fifth Estate. Didn't do well in the box office, but it's a biopic. You're playing a historical person.
The world needs to know.
The world needs to know. He lent his voice in The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, voicing Smaug, the Dragon, and the Necromancer. Starred in the adaptation of the Pulitzer Prize-winning play written by Tracy Lett's August Osage County, which has received a lot of award talk. Starred in 12 Years a Slave, which has serious Oscar contention, and he's been linked to J.J. Abrams' Star Wars Episode 7. Can you have a better year than that? I mean, when you do all of that, and then you're already maybe possibly lining up a job for 2015. And then, of course, Jennifer Lawrence. She won an Academy Award earlier this year for her performance in Silver Linings Playbook. She spent portions of the summer filming X-Men, Days of Futures Past. She announced that she would be reteaming with the Hunger Games director Gary Ross on a remake of John Steinbeck's East of Eden. Spent time filming the last 2 installments of the Hunger Games this year. Starred in the Hunger Games Catching Fire. Starred in American Hustle, which put her name back in Oscar talk. And she was named the AP Performer of the Year. So she's got a pretty good bright future ahead of her. She's like 24. I had a feeling that you and I were going to pick the same people, but Matthew McConaughey and Amy Adams too. I mean,
They all had a good year.
They all did have.
They all had a great year.
If I wanted to pick more than one person, to be honest with
It
you,
wasn't easy. Honestly, there's been a lot of actors that had a good year.
I wanted to pick Christian Bale just for Out of the Furnace and American Hustle, but
Well, yeah, I mean, you could have said the same thing with Woody Harrelson,
yeah,
too.
he had a good year as well.
Yeah.
But looking ahead to 2014, we're just literally 30 minutes away from 2014 or so. We'll get there. Don't you worry. The show's almost over here. Looking ahead to 2014, there's a lot of films coming out. What are the top 5 films to look forward to in 2014?
This took a while for me, but
Yeah, me too.
at number 5, I have to say The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the new one. I'm definitely looking forward to this just because of the cast alone and the story. I have no doubt in mind.
Want to see what happens.
Exactly. At number 4, Christopher Nolan's Interstellar.
Yes, sir.
Cannot have anything bad to say about his films. At number 3, The Monuments Men.
Yeah, that comes out pretty early in June.
Yeah, coming out later this month.
Yeah.
At number 2, I had The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, at number 1, I had The Hobbit, There and Back Again.
There you go. There and back
There
again.
and back again.
A Hobbit's Tale by Bilbo Baggins.
What's funny though is your number 5 is actually on my list too, but it's a lot higher than 5. But at number 5, I have Liam Neeson's Nonstop.
Yeah, that looks.
That
really
looks good.
Yeah.
I literally sat there for like maybe 10-15 minutes looking at all like the list of movies coming out, and it was
Mhm.
just hard to pick 5. First
Yeah,
of
I
all.
know. I did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But at number 4, I have How to Train Your Dragon 2.
You're a big believer in that movie.
I love the first one.
I never
man.
saw the first
You never
one.
saw the first one. I finally saw the trailer for part 2, and it looks pretty.
Well, I
dang
mean, I
good.
heard it did pretty good. Making a
Number
sequel.
3, I have Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. Is it
Yeah.
A Dame to Kill For now, or is it?
It's, yeah.
The Dame, yeah.
At number 2, X-Men: Days of Future Past,
Mm-hmm.
and number 1, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's actually hanging like on the ball right now, like the New Year's Eve ball
Mhm.
thing.
I
You
saw
see
that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Who is that guy? Because he was doing that like legitly, like he wasn't. I don't know.
I have
would
no
be
idea.
Scared shitless.
Yeah. So
All right. Well, my list for the top 5 films to look forward to. Number 5, I got Guardians of the Galaxy. I want to know where this goes. It's kind of like the Avengers, like a team assembling. I'm curious about it.
and a raccoon.
Yeah, the Coon. Number 4, Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm just really excited. I'm psyched about that. Number 3, Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. Everything he touches just turns to gold. It's a great cast too. So, number 2, a lot of people might not know about this movie. It's Ridley Scott's Exodus. It's got Christian Bale in it,
Yeah.
Aaron Paul. It's going to be an Academy Award nominated film. I'm looking forward to that. Number 1, the conclusion to The Hobbit. There and Back Again. The way it's going to end finally. So, it's the conclusion. I'm looking forward to it. So those are the top 5 films to look forward to. But
Sad.
now the last thing we look forward to in 2014 is our performers to keep an eye on, male and female. This one
Well,
was tough for me.
for me, female, I'm going to have to say Amy Adams.
Mhm.
Again, she's got a bright future. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence as well. But male, believe it or not, I'm going to go with Michael B. Anthony.
I thought it was Michael B. Jordan.
Or Michael B. Jordan, yeah.
Yeah.
He's always being talked about in, like, every project.
Yeah, I know.
It seems like he's being thrown, like, his name's being thrown out every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see a bright future for him.
Vic?
A little surprising with who I'm going with. For actress, is going to be Chloe Moretz Grace, Hit Girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just going to be cool to see what she does. You know, I'm not sure how Carrie did,
Mhm.
but she can act. I mean, she's young, she's talented. Sky's the limit for her. And for actor, I'm just gonna stay with Benedict Cumberbatch.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with him. So
For actress, I gotta stick with Jennifer Lawrence. She's got part 1 of Mockingjay coming out next year, and then the whole East of Eden thing. She's going to have, and she might win another Academy Award maybe. But yeah, she's going to have some big years coming up. But actor, I gotta go with Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad. I mean, he's got Need for Speed coming out later in 2014 in March, I believe, and then he's going to be in Exodus, which was it's his really big first break, working with Ridley Scott and then getting to work with Christian Bale, and it's probably going to be an Academy Award nominated film. So I think that's big for him. So keep an eye on all those. But that is the show almost.
Our top 5 shows.
I said almost.
Well, our top 5 shows that were the most downloaded for the year goes like this. At number 5 was Don John.
Which is the DVD.
Yeah, which is the DVD that came out today.
Aaron back again.
Which was downloaded 344 times. At number 4 was The Conjuring, which was downloaded 445 times. At number 3 was World War Z, which was downloaded 533 times. At number 2 was Pacific Rim, downloaded 727 times. And our top show of the year was Insidious 2, which was downloaded 1,144 times.
Wow.
That's up there.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Yes. Our hats off to you.
Well, before we get to reveal that movie and the new releases and box office predictions, I don't know if you guys believe New Year's resolutions at all, but for movie talk, pick a New Year's resolution.
To watch more movies.
Watch more movies.
To average at least like 1,000 downloads every time.
Alright, can I have 2?
Can you have 2?
I'm going to have 2.
Yeah, you can have as many as you want.
500 likes on Facebook. We're at 142 right now. Maybe that's asking a lot. That might be asking a lot. It's a lot of money right there.
Out of my pocket.
Yeah. But to have 52 consecutive shows with no problems, not missing a show. That's a show every week for the entire year. So
on the same day, kind
hopefully,
of thing.
hopefully.
Yeah, we've only missed like one show before. So hopefully we have a good year in 2014. But
Well, it's now time to reveal that movie. And Brett, I'm going to give you the first shot since he kind of seems to know what it is.
I want to say I do, but I could be wrong.
can I get the plot again?
Yes. A vengeful New York transit cop decides to steal a trainload of subway fares. His foster brother, a fellow cop, tries to protect him.
Oh, man. I don't think I've seen this movie, have I?
Probably not.
Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar. Vic, you might have won. Unless you're... I thought you were on your phone looking it up right now.
No, there's nothing on there.
Vic?
Are you...
Did you give up?
I was like, I was trying something.
Vic? What is
Trying
it?
stuff with my finger grease on the screen here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does it have Wesley Snipes in it?
Perhaps.
Does it have Woody Harrelson in it?
Perhaps.
Does it have beautiful Jennifer Lopez in it?
I wouldn't know about beautiful, but perhaps.
Is it Money Train?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Vic has
so
got it.
Vic wins.
The only reason why I picked it is because at the end of the movie, it's New Year's.
I thought you might have picked like New Year's Eve. Is that what?
No, that would have
New
been
Year's?
too easy.
Was that? Is it Zac Efron?
Yeah, I think so. That would have been too easy.
Yeah, it would have been.
But that is our movie for this week is Money Train, made in '95, which had Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. One of the 3 movies that they were in together.
White Man Can't Jump is the other one.
Yeah. It's now time for the new releases, and there's only one to talk about, and that is Paranormal Activity, the marked ones.
Man, I remember talking about this about a year ago when we heard about a Paranormal Activity 5 and then the Latino spinoff. This is that.
Yep,
So,
here we go.
Yeah.
That is the only release that's coming out this Friday, and it's now time for our box office predictions, which I don't have a clue.
Yeah, Frozen's probably going to screw us over again.
Probably.
That's
Which is
probably
why I'm going to do this. I'm going to say at number 1 will be The Hobbit still. At number 2, I'm sticking with Frozen.
What?
Followed by 3, Paranormal Activity, the marked ones.
Ballsy.
And 4, and this is probably where I'm going to get screwed over, Anchorman 2.
That's totally crazy, but you may be right.
I hate you right now because that's actually what I was going to say. I was actually going to
The
keep
same exact thing?
I was going to keep it all the same, but then Paranormal Activity always seems to make money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't see it beating like Frozen, though it very well could.
Well,
I'm just going to keep it the same as Brian.
I'm going with American Hustle at number 4.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think Anchorman's had its run. Frozen's going to go down to number 3. Hobbit's going to go down to number 2. I think Paranormal Activity is going to be number 1.
Ooh.
They usually seem to take number 1 most of the time. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to see it, but I think it's going to make some big bucks, hopefully.
Well,
For
it
my case.
definitely shall be interesting to see what happens. But
Happy New Year's, everybody.
that is our show, so Happy New Year.
We will see you in
Happy New Year.
2014.
Be safe.
Yes.
And yeah, we will see you in the new year.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter. We'll follow you back.
For sure.
Twitter, Facebook, you name it.
150 is coming up. We'll see who that is. Maybe do something special for him.
Yes. Until the next new year. Be your own critic. And that is a wrap.
for listening to the Stallion Radio Network.